Should we be marketing this one as our Halloween special since Halloween is in 2 days?
Spooky Vision!
Yeah, we should do a podcast in Spooky Vision. We should record it nude. That's spooky.
How do you know I'm not already nude?
That's true. That's true.
I
Wasn't there that one time?
Oh.
Never mind.
No.
Never mind. I'm going to distract this conversation by the sound of a can opening. There we go.
It was a ghost of a can opening. It
was a ghost of a can. So we have to make this one as disturbing, as spooky, and as scary as ever.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
This is probably the point where people will switch off.
Probably. So let's not do that. Who cares about Halloween? It's a dead holiday anyway. Ironically, it's a dead holiday.
You're not funny. You think you are, but you're not funny.
I am a little bit. That makes
me think of Grim Fandango.
I never did play it. I played the demo of it, but I never actually played it.
It was good. It was very good.
I know, I've heard it is one of those good ones, one of those LucasArts ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. We can maybe talk about good old-fashioned horror games at some point. Let's add that to notes as we record.
There's not really anything random coming out in this opening.
No, not really.
Not really.
Do you have anything utterly random that you couldn't possibly fit anywhere else? So to speak. Keeping it safe, etc.
No, I haven't got anything. This is really bad.
Ugh, you don't do any research.
I don't just... Research is for creepy scientists.
Creepy scientists do research.
Dr. Frankenstein and all that sort of thing.
Oh, there's something we can explain to people. Frankenstein was the doctor, not the monster.
I don't understand how that whole problem came about.
Because whoever made that Frankenstein, the very old 60s Frankenstein movie, called it Frankenstein and pitched it that the monster was Frankenstein. But it's not. The monster doesn't have a name. It's just a random monster that goes around strangling women.
And occasionally he takes up a job in, like, gaming, Sterling.
Are you saying there's someone in there that's like Frankenstein?
There is.
Were they dressed up today? Because I heard that in...
No, but yes, no. Outside of the arcade, there was some people dressed up. There was the tallest Jawa I have ever seen.
Okay. I mean, why bother?
He was 6 foot tall, dressed as a Jawa. I mean, that just takes away some of the magic, really.
I think Frankie Boyle described Halloween as an excuse for people to dress up as Batman when they have sex with their girlfriend.
That's not a bad idea, actually. There was a dude dressed up as Spider-Man, and it was absolutely chucking it down, and he was standing outside dressed as Spider-Man. It was quite good.
How do you know it wasn't Spider-Man?
I don't, actually. It might have been.
See, this is the time of year where real superheroes can just walk around normally.
Problem is that he was doing, that sort of signature pose where one leg is like sort of outstretched to the side.
Like he's peeing on a lamppost.
Yeah, like he's peeing. The problem with that is that it puts him at the ideal height to be kicked by small children.
And did any small children? No, they wouldn't kick him. Spider-Man's their idol.
I was tempted.
Well, you're not a small child. You're
Mentally, maybe. Mentally,
maybe, but not physically.
Yeah. But I don't get it. It's not Halloween yet. It's not Halloween until...
But this is the Halloween...
Halloween's Monday!
Yeah.
Monday. It's like Christmas. Christmas is on December 25th.
But this is the weekend, so that's why people are doing stuff for it now.
Don't care. Not the same day. So I should say then if my birthday's on, say it's on a Tuesday, I should say right. I want presents on the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, you should. That's what I do. If my birthday falls on a weekday,
drag it all out.
No, you either have it on the Saturday before or the Saturday after.
But these people are going to get dressed up on Halloween anyway. Pricks. Probably at my door, asking for money.
Yeah, that's why it's a dead holiday, because everyone's so cynical now. No one wants to give away candy to little arseholes for free. Especially when they don't make any effort with their costumes. I mean, it's pathetic. It's like they spent $5 in Poundland.
Sometimes they don't even turn up in costume. And they don't even want sweets anymore. They actually come looking for money.
Money, knives. That reminds me of that This new comic where Heavy makes the kid cry, so then he gives him $10,000 or whatever. $7,000. Heavy is sorry, take $7,000.
So, yeah, fun.
Halloween.
Due to forces outside of my control, I've been forced to do this in a normal manner. You are currently listening to the Brain Go Hurty gaming podcast.
Number?
13. Oh, it's 13!
It's 13 and it's 13. On Halloween.
It's not actually Halloween yet, as we've already pointed out.
It's close enough, plus that might not make it in.
Yep. It's been recorded in extra spooky vision, which basically means we're sitting here naked with
not in the same room.
Sheets,
not in the same room.
Sheets over our heads.
Yes, that is spooky, actually.
If you took that out of context, it would kind of sound like we were recording a porno.
We aren't.
Oh.
No, this is about gaming, of course, which you forgot to mention because I interrupted you.
Not topiary.
Not topiary, not clothing, not fashion or...
genealogy. All the other things that we tend to cover instead of...
all the other random stuff instead of... Yeah, it puts people off.
Yeah, so this will probably actually be up and running by Halloween, so...
It will be. So if you listen and then you get a phone call saying if you don't pass it on to someone in the next week you'll die, take it seriously because we mean it.
I have bought a gun.
Have you?
Yeah.
What kind?
It's a toy gun.
Oh, see, I'm forcing you to think on the spot.
Yep, it's.
You should have just said.
You know, actually, every time I'm in town and go past that store, one of those gadget sort of stores, and they sell like those paint guns, paintball shotguns, and paintball pistols and stuff. I'm always tempted.
Paintball shotguns.
Yeah, it's a paintball shotgun. I was tempted to buy Stephen one for his Christmas last year. Like paintball MP5s and stuff is cool.
Like paintball MP5s and the standard paintball gun I can understand, but a paintball shotgun.
They're not actually like they're not in the same.
You walk up to someone, you fire, and you turn them into a Picasso painting. Why did you do that?
They're not in the same sort of product category as like real paintball guns for the actual thing. They're like shooting something in the back garden, like your neighbor or small children.
Your neighbor or the neighbor's pet.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, if your neighbour's pet goes missing or suddenly turns multicoloured, they've been shot by a paintball shotgun.
This has gotten really off tangent, really quickly.
I want to know. No, I don't care. How much do they charge for a paintball shotgun?
I think it's about £20. I'll buy you one. I'll buy you one.
Yeah, it's not going to be safe for you to do that, but okay. Yeah. Gaming podcast.
Yes, gaming podcast.
Gaming.
So
it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
Just to give you quite a painful job of editing this one, I have a very random thing to talk about.
You're a cock putting these things in now.
It's because it annoys me if I forget something and then later on I remember and we don't put it in. On the way home,
it'll end up just getting deleted.
I don't care, I'm telling you anyway. On the way home, on the side of a garage in giant white spray paint, a Ned, had randomly written, "Don't trust anyone."
Okay.
Yeah. Why would a Ned do that? I mean, usually they're writing fuck and things like that. Or doing that really stupid writing. Have you seen it? You know the kind of writing I'm talking about.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've never seen graffiti done in that stupid sort of graffiti font. Basically, so it's almost indistinguishable what's actually been written.
That's what all graffiti is, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. This was written perfectly. It's like someone had been really patient to write a sign that you can only see if you're walking along a very small road on the side of a forest.
I don't know. People are weird.
I know, but I need to know why.
Well, take a can of paint, go out and write "why" underneath it and see if you get a response.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
You'll find yourself a new stalker.
Yeah, you wouldn't do it in the supermarkets. I should do that. See, I'm going to do that. Okay, you can carry on as normal now. I just had to get that out.
So normally at the start we try to cover what we've been playing for the last 2 weeks. So
yes, which is a lot.
Yeah, maybe.
Kind of. Well, for me it is.
Right. Well, I'll go first because mine will be really quick then, I imagine. So
okay.
We've been playing a bit of Gears 3 still, just doing a bit of Horde, tidying up some achievements and stuff. I think I'm pretty much at the end of the game's life cycle really now. Already?
We haven't really done that much of it.
Well, really. I just mean in terms of, like, I'm not really playing the multiplayer, and that's...
Why not, though? Because you were quite into the multiplayer of Gears 2.
Because you don't play it.
So?
We end up playing everything co-op and stuff, and so because you're not playing the multiplayer, then I'm playing something else with you, like Dead Island or something.
Well, that's true. I was going to say you could play it with CR, but no, he's busy boosting.
Yeah,
Shame on you.
CR just
Shame on you.
sits there in private rooms that you can't join in to abuse him or anything.
Anymore after Stephen did a couple of times.
Oh, he learnt his lesson, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Lock your rooms.
That goes for the one
For real life too, yeah.
Lock your rooms when you're doing dirty things. So I've been playing a bit of Gears, a little bit of Dead Island, as the videos are still going up on your channel.
Yep, 39 is up yesterday, and I've rendered to 43, I think. I think my guess in the last podcast of finishing around about 50 is going to be pretty spot on, because that's us. We're up to the point of no return now. And
that's quite ominous sounding.
Well, it's good that it has it. Well done, by the way, trying to link it back to the theme of Halloween.
I'm trying. I'm actually trying for once.
At least you made an effort. Good.
Would it help if I got like a sheet and put it over my head?
Only if you took a picture afterwards.
I don't have one.
A sheet or a picture?
Both. All three. Neither.
Neither or both. So anyway, Dead Island and Gears 3. Anything else?
In the last 2 weeks, I don't think I've really done an awful lot of Dark Souls.
Liar. You played it. We played a little bit. We did a co-op, remember? We finally got co-op kind of working.
Yeah, okay, we finally got it kind of working, but then it sort of didn't want to work so much, and now we're basically waiting on the patch. So
we did find a way that makes it work, but it's just so bloody tedious.
Yeah, it is time consuming as well. I mean, I bet you're talking about 15 minutes.
Yeah. Although once you do get it working once, it does seem to be quicker after that.
Yeah, well, that's not an excuse.
But no, even then, we're still sitting there basically just frustrating ourselves trying to co-op when the game is trying its hardest not to let us.
So, having played it more since your review, are you still confident that your review is actually what you feel about it still? Or
Absolutely. I find myself totally disinterested in going back to it. I'm still going to after it's been patched just to see what they do.
I'm hoping it gets patched, I can finish it, we can do some co-op stuff, and then I am selling it.
Yeah, I'm definitely selling it on.
That's it, it's just
definitely.
It's going.
And I won't be buying the next one, presuming there is a next one.
There will be, because this one's sold quite well, I imagine.
I do remember reading a quote that they said, we'll make sure our next game isn't as hard as this one. Hard is a subjective word, because it's not hard. As we talked at length last time, it's just unfair.
Yeah, let's leave that alone for now.
The first game I've ever played that trolls the player.
Yeah, so the only other thing I can really think that I've been playing is Shadow Era, which is like a sort of like a trading card game, I suppose. Like
that Magic the Gathering,
it's
on iPhone.
Wizards of the Coast things that it's not just on the iPhone. You can play.
It's on PC as well,
which is all right. It's a bit of fun. It's free.
I briefly tried it and it was pants.
I don't have any basis to compare it to.
It may just be that also playing on a small phone, that kind of thing doesn't really appeal to me. If I was playing on an iPad or my PC, then yeah, I probably would be better.
Try it on your PC then.
I do other stuff.
Other things.
Yeah, I've got too many other things to play, as we've discussed. I can't be getting into a card game that could suck up a lot of time. I mean, November is the worst month.
November is going to be a killer. So, other than that, there's not really anything else new, other than I got a replacement phone today. I went in for my upgrade.
Oh, yes, right. Let me hear what you got. What did you get?
We'll have a guess.
I think you went with a 4S.
You would be wrong.
Oh, you picked a crap one.
No. I got a Samsung Galaxy S2.
That is exactly what I just said.
It has got a giant-ass screen. Honestly, it's like the size of a fucking tablet. It's
a giant-ass screen?
Yeah, it goes with my giant-ass telly.
It's got a line down the middle.
Yeah. It's pink. And it sort of smells faintly. No, I like it.
Although we're deviating from our discussing topic, I was actually waiting till I knew what you'd picked to tell you. Have you heard about a patent that Apple has been granted?
No, what's this?
No, it's one they put in 2009, and it's just that they've patented the unlocking mechanisms through using emotion. So no other phone will be able to have that, and there are other non-iPhone phones that have it.
What are you talking about? What?
You know, like when you press a iPhone to unlock it, you then slide your finger to unlock it.
Yeah.
That's now patented. So any phone that does that is infringing the patent.
Well, some of them have got like you put a lock on it and you have to sort of trace like the image.
Yeah, that falls under the patent. It's the means of unlocking a phone via a movement of the finger. I can't remember the exact word.
That's retarded, because that's like by the movement of the finger. So you've got to shout at your phone, "Unlock, you bastards!"
Oh, it's like I said, they also patented pinching, which is a motion of the finger.
I can still pinch my phone.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Hurt it. It's not making
the pinching,
noise.
zooming thing.
Yeah.
Did you also know that Steve Jobs actually vowed to destroy Android phones when they first came out?
Yeah, he wasn't happy.
Yeah, but they got there first.
Well, see, the thing is, I'm sitting here with both of them, right? My iPhone 3GS and my new Samsung.
All right, are you keeping both?
Well, I've got both still.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not paying for your iPhone anymore, I assume.
No. The contract just jumped from one phone to the next.
Yeah, so can
Except
you still...
for it's now half the price. Literally half the amount of money this thing costs.
You were paying a stupid amount for your iPhone anyway.
That's because there was one of the few contracts that was available to me at the time. So, yeah, I do like it.
I'm paying a third of what you were paying a month.
Yeah, more or less. It's very shiny. The screen is very good, but on the gaming front, it does mean that like I can't transfer apps from an iPhone to.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they call them on this. What do they call them?
They're just
called apps again. Android apps.
Have you got any on it yet to try them?
Well, honestly, it's got billions of things on it already, like built in, like various games and things like that, and I haven't really had a proper look at it yet, but it's nice. I like it.
So, what if you had have got a 4S? What was like? How much would you have had to?
Well, I would have had to shell out like £100 for the handset alone, and then my contract would have been the same amount. But it's the fact that
there wasn't a lower contract.
Well, the thing is,
is this going to get too far into conversation we should have outside of a podcast?
It's just it's more along the lines of like, see, like the insurance on the phone, for example, is half as much on anything other than an iPhone. Like the iPhone one's £12 a month on insurance.
Welcome to Brain Go Hurty, where two people discuss phone contracts.
Whereas it's £6 on this. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. So I've got a different phone, and it's a new phone, and it's not an iPhone, and I'll be selling that on or something, and that'll be the end of that era. And do you know what? It's not the first time that I've jumped from an Apple product away, because I had an iPod Mini, like one of the first ones that came out, the kind of solid ones.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
I jumped from that to a Creative Zen, and the Creative Zen it had a bigger screen for watching videos and stuff on. It had more memory, had bigger space on it. It was cheaper. It was more robust. It still hasn't broken. I've still got it. It still works.
As a wise porn star once said, it's not the size that counts; it's what you do with it.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
And I think my girlfriend would probably say the same.
Oh dear. That'll slip right by the censors.
Yeah. So aside from my phone rambling and ranting, that's about it for me.
Hopefully, as we get onto that in 2 weeks' time, then have some Android apps to talk about. See how they fare on that. Do
you know what? Apparently, they're all the same these days. Hardly anything doesn't transfer from one to the other. Anything worth downloading appears on the Android system.
Mm-hmm. No wonder they wanted to destroy it then. Right, anyway, so what I've been playing in the last 2 weeks, other than the things you've already covered, Dead Island and Gears, because obviously I've been doing that, and Dark Souls. Let's see, did I cover the Cursed Crusade last time? I did, didn't I?
You did, yes.
I did. Well, that's been done, reviewed. Wasn't very great. Haven't touched this guy 4 because I haven't had time, annoyingly.
You've been spending too much time dressing up in
as Batman
costumes and stuff.
I've been dressing up as Batman to do Arkham City, which is...
I've now got this image of you sitting there in a Batman costume with the Xbox controller in your hands. Screaming. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Oh, you're going to have to link that for people who are not old enough to remember the Adam Batman movie.
I'll add that just now.
Yes. So yeah, I've been playing Arkham City. I also handled the review for Critical Gamer, and it was the first perfect score that I've actually given in 2.5 years of writing for them.
So you actually thought the game was perfect?
Well, like I emailed you while you were working, or I'm supposed to be working, to say I was struggling to decide whether it got a 9 or a 10, because I couldn't find that much to complain about it, but at the same time I didn't really want people to assume I thought it was perfect, because it's not perfect. So
if it's not perfect, then it shouldn't have really had a 10.
But that's a little niggle doesn't necessarily mean it's enough to take off a point. Like my 2 main complaints, or 3 main complaints actually. One, Nolan North voices like 90% of the thugs in it, and it's really irritating because he just uses the same voice he uses for Desmond, for Nathan Drake, for the prince from the whatever one it was that he used the prince in. I've never played them.
You mean Prince of Persia?
I do mean Prince of Persia, yes.
I can't remember the guy's name.
No, he is just called the Prince.
Is he?
I couldn't remember the name of the game because I've never played any of them, so not even, well, I played the original. But yeah, he voices Penguin in it, and he's found like a semi-Cockney English voice he can do for that. But other than that, it's just his usual voice. And I find it irritating now, even though he's a good actor.
Because he's everywhere.
And then there was a really miscellaneous complaint that loads take a bit too long. And
I did notice from your videos the loading screen seemed quite extensive.
And in combat, sometimes enemies like warp along the floor towards you if you're doing a certain thing while they're upright.
Oh.
Again, that's just a tiny niggle. So in the end, I decided if I did give it 9 out of 10, and someone asked me what could it have done to get that extra point, if I couldn't think of any good reasons, then it deserved a 10 in the first place.
So you don't think shooting Nolan North would be a good idea then?
No, he's a good actor. He just needs to find out how to do some different voices.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because when Assassin's Creed Revelations are out, we're going to have to listen to him again doing And if I do decide to get Uncharted 3, but I'm not 100% sure, I'd have to listen to him again.
He must make a lot of money.
Him and Johnny Young Bosch do a ton of voice acting right now.
Wasn't Johnny Young Bosch the guy that was in the Power Rangers?
Yes, he was a Power Ranger. And now he's a very proficient anime and game voice actor.
There you go.
And he's actually also very good. He did Nero in Devil May Cry 4, for people who don't know. What else has he done recently? He did a voice in Disgaea 3. And he's Ichigo in all the Bleach games and anime.
Are you finished humping his leg now?
No. Yes, okay, fine, yes I am. So yeah, that's Arkham City out of the way. What else? Now I am playing the audible sigh. Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkiachi, which I've started uploading videos for, and
The less said about that, the better.
Well, as CR very kindly pointed out, like the latest Dead Island video had been up for a few hours, had about 70 views. The first Tenkiachi video was up for 20 minutes and had a couple of hundred.
It should be probably point out here that if you want any sort of custom matches put together, you're not accepting them through spammed messages on the channel, or
no, I'm not accepting ordered comments either.
As long as it's a proper email sent to braingohurty at
gmail.com. Why did you pause there?
I don't know. I just felt like it needed a pause.
That was a quick test to see whether I could remember the email address.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so anything that goes there will maybe eventually...
I suspect there won't be as much call for it as there was with Raging Blast 2, because I think it's largely being frowned upon this game because of the way the fighting works. It's too quick time event.
Is it me, or does the hair looks kind of like off green rather than yellow when they go...
A couple of people have commented that.
Is it something you've noticed, or is it just because of videos?
For Brawley, yes, but not for anyone else. I can't say I've noticed that. It might just be the colour saturation on once it goes up on YouTube.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, so I've done a couple of random verses, and I'm going to do all the main battles of the hero mode, which is when you make your own custom person.
You invent a character, do you?
Yeah. Although, as Kotaku says, basically any Akira Toriyama character is the same face with different hair. So,
except for Boo.
Except for Boo, maybe, kind of. Although there are some cameos there, like I unlocked a haircut that's the main hero in a RPG called Blue Dragon had. That's a very random thing. Akira Toriyama did the art for that and all the Dragon Quest ones as well. See, that's gaming stuff, and you're supposed to feign interest in that, but you just didn't care there, did you?
Yeah, I just I zone out. I think, see, like, Dragon Ball Z I was interested in when I was at school still, when that first sort of kicked off for me.
Very early school, yeah. You were into it before me.
No, it was 5th year or something before I got into it. So you weren't even at school anymore.
No, you're definitely thinking through that wrong. It was
No.
Yeah, because you and another friend were into it, and I wasn't, and then you kind of forced me to watch it, and that got me into it.
Maybe it was, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Trust me, I remember.
On a tangent, I've started watching Naruto again. Not from the start or anything, I've just caught up to where I was when I stopped watching, which was about 3-4 years ago.
Are you still enjoying it, even though you stopped for that long?
Yeah, I've just basically started. I found a guide that tells me which episodes are filler episodes, so I just don't have to even bother. I just skip through them, and I'm quite enjoying it.
Good, you'll be caught up then.
It's getting interesting.
No time. The manga isn't very interesting right now. Lots of fighting, but not very much plot progression. For people who follow that. Back to gaming.
Everybody's just like sort of gradually sliding off the couch.
It is scary listening to anime fans talking together. I think it's terrifying. Like
imagine it like going to like a sci-fi convention or something.
It pretty much is, yeah, it is.
If you weren't like familiar with it, I imagine that. I mean, I'm not familiar with it. I would probably be terrified.
It's worth it going to one of my Dragon Ball videos and looking at the conversations people have. The older ones, the Raging Blast 2 ones, but they've got hundreds of comments. They will terrify you. So I think that covers everything I've been playing. I think it's just upcoming stuff now, basically.
There's quite a bit upcoming, though. We're going to be very busy.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where I want to pick and choose now because I don't have time for everything.
Well, this is a good point to say that I nearly bought Battlefield 3 today.
That was the other thing I wanted to ask you since you did say that. So you decided against it?
Well, this is the thing. I was in game.
Oh yeah, talking to Frankenstein, as you said earlier. Yeah,
I wasn't actually.
How is Frank?
I avoided Frankenstein.
You just avoid him, because if you try and have a conversation with him, he just goes, It's like, Frank, have a topic of conversation.
Yeah,
anyway.
so I went in and I thought, right, you know what, I've got a bit of cash, I think I'll buy it. Despite not having like a lot of spare time for gaming and stuff with all the other games.
So I'm eager to know why you didn't.
Because it was $35.99. For the PC, it was $35.99.
It wasn't a special edition.
Nope, not at all. The Xbox version was only £4 more. Console versions are always about £40 when they first come out, more or less.
You bastards.
So I thought, do you know what? I tried to use my
lottery card
radar thing, so I could go and check the internets and find out.
Oh, red laser, yeah.
Yeah, so I tried to use that, and it came back with, well, I didn't have a connection when I was there, but afterwards I found out that a lot of places are still charging about that for it.
Well, you know why that is? It's because EA have said, right, Activision can get more than the RRP for Modern Warfare games, we're going to do it for Battlefield.
I was gobsmacked by how much they were charging.
It is worth pointing out that it is actually $29.99 on their website.
Now, actually, having just like a quick scooch on
a scooch?
Google Shopping,
that sounds like what cats do on a carpet.
No, it's boot scooting. Majority of people are selling it for about £35. Play sell it for $32.99, but it's just like, what?
Other retailers are available.
They're all, everyone's just, I don't understand.
Oh no, it's because, well actually, yeah, it could be the retailer just bumping up the price, but it might also be because the publisher has bumped up the unit price when they sell at wholesale.
Yeah, I imagine it must be something along those lines, but that's what put me off, because I thought, do you know what, if it was under 30 quid, that would have been fair enough. I mean, I know, like, in the long term, it's only like a fiver, but still, you times that by buying 10 games, and that's 50 quid.
Exactly. I do have a couple of bits of news related to that, actually. Well, kind of related to why I decided in the end not particularly interested in playing it, because, well, one, I don't like Origin. I don't like the integration of it.
But you've not even tried it, have you?
No, but you described it to me and how it works. So it is basically Steam Lite. So you can be looking at porn while it finds a match, and it's like porn, match.
Yeah.
And you might find yourself orgasming to being shot in the face. Where do you go from there?
Where do you go from there? Well,
where do you go from there?
You join the army, I guess.
The Navy.
Yes, the Navy, sorry.
Join the Navy. Hey, you, join the Navy.
Superliminal.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't like Origin because I don't like Steam, and it's Steam Lite. So I have no desire to fill my PC with shit like that.
You really just want to go back to the days where every game had its own loader, and each loader had its own way of finding servers and stuff. Just
from inside the game. Inside the game. That's fine. That's the way it should be. I mean, even on Steam, that's still how it works.
Well, that's how it originally started. It was just
you go on Team Fortress, you're still searching for servers within the game, so Steam is redundant. Other than joining friends who are in a game. That's the other thing. But yeah, back to Battlefield 3. The other thing that kind of annoyed me, I suppose you've heard about that, is how EA in Norway was trying to manipulate review scores for it.
Yes, I did hear about
But to be specific, it is only that branch of it, because Kotaku confirmed that when they got their review copy from the American branch, they were not asked the same questions which were asked of the Norwegian game magazines and websites.
So one of this is because there are a few notorious people that dry hump the legs of the
Activision
Modern Warfare games, and they felt that perhaps they would be basically asking for a poor review just because they were siding with Activision.
Did you see the list of questions?
I didn't.
I have them here, so I would like you to answer them.
All right, okay.
If you were worthy of getting a Battlefield 3 review copy. The first question is, did the reviewer personally review Battlefield Bad Company 2 or Black Ops? Well, let's just change that to, did you play either of them?
I played both.
You played both. Both. What score did you give each? Like, which would you say is the better of the two? Let's say. Battlefield Bad Company 2, Black Ops.
That's difficult. The single-player component to Black Ops was better than the single-player to Bad Company 2. But the multiplayer for Bad Company 2 had a lot more sort of lastability than Black Ops. So I would probably have given Bad Company an 8 and Black Ops... I'm not sure if I'd give it a 7 or an 8, but both of them are about an 8.
Right, okay. So we'll say Bad Company, you were leaning towards that a bit. What is your past experience with Battlefield? Is that, you played Battlefield 2, you played both Bad Companies?
No, I just played Battlefield 2 and Bad Company 2.
But you have played, so there's prior experiences.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of Battlefield?
Yes. Are
you a fan of Call of Duty?
Yes, but I don't know whether I'm going to buy Modern Warfare 3.
They'll be charging 50-odd quid for that. Just wait.
Oh, yeah,
for the standard edition.
And then if you want one that comes with a remote-controlled rocket dog machine gun, it'll be like £6,000.
Probably. Did you play the very early Battlefield games like 1943, all those ones?
No, I didn't.
I don't mean did you play Battlefield in 1943. Just to be clear. I think this is quite possibly the worst question, this next one. Have you expressed enthusiasm or concern for Battlefield 3? And if you did express concerns, what were they?
Well, I went backwards and forwards with this, really, though, didn't I? Because at first I had this is going to be brilliant, it's going to be badass, and then it was this thing's going to need a monster PC to run it, and then the beta came out and I could run it on pretty decent settings, and then so I went backwards and forwards, so both.
That's actually a plus point I'll agree to. They've definitely made it well because it runs and looks good on medium spec PCs.
Well, exactly. I mean, the amount of hardware in there, it isn't top of the line. It isn't like, I mean, that rig had problems with Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, exactly.
And yet this, I was running on pretty good settings, and I was really surprised by how good it looked.
So kudos to them for that.
Yes.
That's not a word I use a lot, kudos. Because it sounds weird. Anyway, 2 more questions to go.
Okay.
Did you play the beta, did you enjoy it, or did you get frustrated with it?
I played it, and I enjoyed it.
No frustrations at all?
The only problem I had, and it's my own fault really, is because I use a giant TV, and because of the setup I have for the way that everything's viewed on the TV, I couldn't use the menus properly with the mouse. And apparently there is a fix for it, but I didn't really go to the time and effort of going through and dealing with it.
For the 5 minutes it might have taken to do that. And for people playing the Brain Go Hurty drinking game at home, he mentioned his giant TV twice.
I'm actually, like, on a side note here, somebody's propped a laptop up in front of me that's got reviews based on Battlefield 3 on Amazon. And
right.
There's only like, well, for a start, the game was actually quite cheap from this place. But 4 people out of the 5 people that reviewed it gave it 1 star. But it all seems to be Origin-based.
That sounds suspiciously like Activision cronies.
It could well be. It seems to be a lot of people are just ranting about Origin. Origin's broken, forces you to accept unreasonable terms, generally annoying, lengthy process to start the game.
Now, didn't you say actually that getting into a game was simple, like ridiculously simple and easy?
Yeah, I would really argue against.
Yeah, so that sounds like a lie. In other words,
it's not. It's confusing because it's something completely different. I'm not familiar with the way that it does. It loads it up almost like in a browser, and then you pick a server and that sort of stuff. But at the same time, it's made easy.
Yeah,
and
so you think as well those probably do sound like those are fake reviews, either from Modern Warfare fans or, at worst, Activision employees.
Yeah, there's just they don't seem that.
I don't understand the rivalry between those two at all. Really, why is it a rivalry between those two specifically? When there's plenty of random soldier FPS generic 101 games.
Is there? Is there
plenty?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, the only big 3 really is the Battlefield franchise.
Yeah, but my point is, why are they the big 3? Why are they the big 3? Because they're just as generic as all the others.
Because they're the best. Well, look at it this way. Medal of Honor was quite a big name back in the sort of PS1 days. That's died out. They brought out a new one, and it basically flopped.
Yeah, because people are stupid.
I think we've got to the point where that it's just going to be fought out between these two now, and they're just going to continue to release. Well,
probably.
No, correction. Activision will continue to release year on year a new
twice yearly, because there'll be a modern one and probably a World War II one or Korean War.
Anyway, yeah.
There's one more question to ask. What is your present view of the game? Now, that is the worst question, actually, because you're basically asking for a quick summary of the review you're going to be writing, which is before you've played it, which is bloody terrible.
It's a bit cheeky.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my present expensive. I haven't played it yet. I've played the beta. That's it. It's expensive.
Yeah, well, that's very unlikely because now they're kind of stuck in with this Origin thing. They're not going to let it die no matter what, and I'm probably going to ignore it completely because of that.
You're not cutting your nails while you're talking, are you?
No, actually, I'm playing with a couple of those things you used to open and close.
God, it's not those bloody things again.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 7 of them in front of me. I don't know why I have 7 of them.
You're crazy. You really are just crazy.
I accumulate crap in front of me on my desk. So, okay, you can obviously audibly hear me opening and closing those, so I'll put them down.
Yes, you do that.
On the other bit of news I had about Battlefield 3 was that it's had 3 million pre-orders prior to release. Obviously, it's out now, but so it's already a success either way.
I knew it was going to be.
Yeah.
Just playing the beta would tell you that it was going to be a big hit. because it's good.
So you think 3 million? That's pretty good. Although Arkham City 4.6 million in 1 week.
No, that's sales, not pre-order.
That's total sales for a week, not pre-order.
Sales, not pre-order.
But obviously pre-orders will be included with that.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah. You see, what they had to do was, like, because everyone was so surprised how good Arkham Asylum was, they were facing, like, second album syndrome. Where how good they were, people will not be as surprised if it is good. So that was another. But they managed it, I think. Oh, and very random thing, but I read this as a random comment, and I think they should do this because I would pay infinite money for it. Someone said that one of the DLC packs they should do for Arkham City is they should get Adam West to do a voice pack. I would pay infinite money if he did that, because he would totally do it if they asked him.
He probably would.
He totally would, because I mean he pokes fun at himself all the time on Family Guy, so why not?
That would be quite.
I really want Rocksteady to do that, because that would be amazing. I mean, one of the downloadable skins for Batman is Fat Batman, so I mean they don't mind poking fun.
Fat Batman with Adam West voice.
Actually, I think the Fat Batman is from one of the comic book plots where he's retired, but then he doesn't like what's happened to the city, so he comes out of retirement all unhealthy. I think. I'm only vaguely familiar with like some of the main stories. Although, on that note, if anyone wants to read read The Killing Joke. It's very good. It's a very short one by the person who did Watchmen.
He's the same guy that did the Sandman series as well.
Alan Moore.
Yes.
I think he also.
I don't know if you've read any of those. I've got one of those floating around here somewhere. That.
No, I have not.
Quite good. Quite good.
Good. So that's another thing crossed off my list. There we go.
So we've been talking a bit about like Modern Warfare and Battlefield, like their sort of fighting and all that sort of nonsense. So I've got sort of 2 points here. One.
Yeah. These are points, not topics of conversation. They're just statements.
Well, they're a bit of both.
Okay.
One is that the trailer for Modern Warfare 3 has the tagline in it. It's the most anticipated game of all time.
Ugh.
And I thought to myself after seeing it, I thought, how arrogant and pig-headed is that?
Is that the same trailer that people hated afterwards, or was that just the multiplayer one?
This is a different one.
Oh, right.
And I just thought, what? Why? How? Prove it. Prove it. With examples from this room right now, prove it. And do you know what? That's another reason why I was having such a problem with Modern Warfare.
Although, sadly, I think it might prove it, depending on how many pre-orders and how many first-week sales it does end up getting.
Despite all these people that said that they didn't like the video and all that sort of stuff, and it got a thumbs down and stuff, you know that it is going to sell in its droves. You know it will.
Yeah, I know. And so do they, and that's why. That's why they make ridiculous statements like that.
Quite a good segue here would be to jump into the only question that we've received this week from...
we received a question?
Yeah, we got a question from Noodles McMuffin again, who's the only person...
No. Let's pretend we have another person. Let's call him Muffin McNoodle.
Muffin McNoodle.
So we've had a question from a new listener called Muffin McNoodle.
It's sort of quite a lot of questions all rolled into one. So the first thing, he wants to know what the take on... the recent Dead Rising release off the record would be.
Yes, the one starring Frank West.
He was wondering, like, whether we thought it was exactly the same as, like, Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Technically not, because they're charging less for it than the next Ultimate, the next Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I think. Because, I mean, it's only $14.99, I think.
Yeah.
But saying that, I'd have a couple of problems with it, and the reasons I'm not buying it is, one, they made Frank an arsehole. I mean, he's a washed-up celebrity. Why? Because he survived a zombie outbreak? Why? How does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I hate what they did to his character. And two, it's not canon story. It's a what if. So it should have been DLC, and it should have stayed as DLC. Because the story with, like, when he meets up with Chuck afterwards for the DLC of Dead Rising 2, that's canon. That leads into what the third game will be about. It's just pointless.
Yeah, I haven't really quite understood why they've made it. So
it did start as DLC, but then they thought,
I suppose suppose to answer the question, really, to sum it up, this part of the question anyway, is that I think Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the Ultimate one or whatever, is probably a lot worse. It's more of a cash-in.
Yes, that is a lot worse.
He's saying that he thinks that this seems to be happening a lot more frequently.
When Capcom's involved. Capcom are the worst.
Especially with Game of the Year editions that you can, get all the DLC for the lower price, like I did with Fallout.
Yes, that's true, yeah.
And he's basically likens it to double dipping in the movie industry, where the most notorious person for it is George Lucas. I
was just going to say that, George Lucas and Steven Spielberg.
Re-releasing slightly different new versions of the same films just about every year for best part of 20-30 years.
Yep. It is that, but some people will like it, I suppose.
There are people, like I know somebody that will go out and buy, for example, right, Titanic has about 50 versions of it.
Do I know the person you're talking about?
I think you do. I know somebody that will go out and buy every different version of that if they add, this is 1 minute of footage that was missed from the original, or this is 15 seconds that was missed from the original, or some new behind the scenes something. They will go out and buy a new version of the film every single time. There are people that will buy it, and that's why they manage to keep doing it. And obviously, there are people that, given enough time, maybe never bought it originally, and then now buy, say, the Star Wars box set now, or
yeah. But it does, yeah. So it applies to gaming just like it applies to movies or music. There are folk who like it, and they'll keep doing it for as long as they get away with it. That's the basic rule to believe. If people keep letting them get away with it, they will keep doing it. Capcom's cottoned on to that, and will keep on doing it.
Exactly. Now, the other big thing that I've taken out of the email that he sent relates back to this Battlefield and Modern Warfare sort of argument.
Can we refer to it as the hissy fit?
Yeah, okay.
Because I like imagining the box for each of the two games just flapping their arms wildly at each other, both wearing skirts.
No, he's basically cottoned onto the whole advertising campaign. You've got above and beyond the call is how they're calling the campaign for it, or they were. Obviously, it's pretty much dead in the water now. When the game's released, they don't bother advertising anymore these days.
Ironically, that sentence is almost as short as apparently the Battlefield 3 campaign is.
And the choice of music being 99 Problems, maybe poking fun a little bit at Modern Warfare. I'm not sure.
I haven't played enough of it to get that reference.
It's just, it does seem like they're increasingly just sort of poking at each other rather than just making decent games.
That's because competition is healthy for them, really. It'll get people,
I suppose,
supporting the side that they fall on. Like, what's that? Battlefield 3's released £30 DLC. Well, I support them. I hate Modern Warfare, so I'll spend that money.
That's stupid.
Of course it's stupid, but they'll still do it.
I guess we need to help people adopt the Scottish mentality for spending their money. Maybe that'll solve a lot of problems.
Stop wasting your fucking money. That should be on a billboard.
I can see it with a picture of Mr. T.
Picture, yeah. And in the background, someone holding every version of Titanic they've ever bought and crying.
Don't waste money, fool!
Yeah, that's better. If you could get Mr. T to do a Scottish accent, that would be the best version of it.
It would sound horrible. It would be like the demo man from Team Fortress.
Well, true. I suppose so.
Speaking of Team Fortress, we plan to try and load that up this evening to test out the Halloween stuff.
The Halloween stuff, the Bombonomicon is what it's called, the reference to Evil Dead 2.
I really, really like the way that they've sort of introduced this with that sort of...
The comic I showed you earlier.
Comic, yes.
It is a good comic.
I think I'll make sure I put a link to that in here in case anybody misses it over Halloween.
I especially like the soldier in it. He's actually very funny.
So that seems like that's a feature they're adding in is a costume for the soldier where he's a robot, basically.
Yeah, and also there is a video of all his collected lines, which again is brilliant.
Beep, beep, I am a robot.
I'm a robot, etc. I'm here to steal American jobs. So yeah, they've made an effort with this Halloween this time, I think, and it looks interesting. Because apparently you kill the big eye thing that's floating around instead of the headless horseman this time.
All right.
And then he drops the Bombonomicon, and and if you go to the book, you get teleported to Loot Island. And once you're there, I'm not entirely sure what you do, but you can get items. Loots. Yeah,
right.
Loot. And I've seen a werewolf mask for the demo man. That's about the only thing I've seen.
Well, it should be fun, and we should
talk about
it next time.
Yeah, we'll be doing some of that, and along with finishing off Dead Island, etc. Yeah. Fit with the theme of sort of horror for Halloween.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we might subject ourselves to Dark Souls, why not?
No, let's not do that.
No, let's not. I did actually want to mention earlier more upcoming things, because my editor sort of sent me a huge list of review games he'd been sent, kind of all in one, and he was kind of giving me first pick.
All right.
Well, actually, I say first pick. Uncharted 3 was amongst them, and he decided, nope, I'm having that. So, and there was a couple of PS3 games, but one required Move. Like, you had to have Move, so I can't take that because I don't have it, nor would I want it. And I think there was a Kinect one, but I don't have direct access to a Kinect, so again, I don't want it. But the one I said I would do of them all is the House of the Dead remix. Now, it's Move compatible, but not Move required. So I should be doing that. I kind of didn't want to take it first.
That would be better with a light gun, though, would it not? Or does it come with one?
No. Well, because the Move essentially is a light gun. It has an attachment where you fit it in. So I kind of almost turned it down because I thought it's a remake that you kind of want to have the whole Move experience with. But I don't think anyone on staff has one, other than him, and he's reviewing something else. But
yeah.
The reason I'm bringing it up is we also got sent gaming-related books.
All right.
I'm going to be reviewing those.
So now you're reviewing books of games.
Yeah, well, it's not because he got sent the preview of Game of Thrones, the TV series that's based on popular Tolkien-esque fantasy books. But it's very loosely.
Game of Thrones, not Thorns.
Did I say Thorns? Yeah, sorry, Thrones. You know why I said Thorns? Because I think that's the name of an armor in Dark Souls.
It is.
Haha. Well, either way, so I'm going to be reviewing. There's an Uncharted book and there's also a Skyrim book, and I'm getting those. So there you go. I'm not quite sure how either fits in, if it's into the continuity or whatever, so we'll find out.
Should be interesting. I don't really read very much anymore, really.
Neither does the world in general. They just look at the review score. Sorry, just getting sidetracked.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, like digital, yeah, fine. But I don't mean like a hard copy of anything. I don't read anymore.
You know, I was trying to think prior to when he offered me, that was what the last proper book I read was. Like, not bit of fiction, I mean, not non-fiction, because I read Japanese books, etc. And I think I'm almost ashamed to admit what it was.
What was it?
Was the adaptation of the second Transformers movie. It was written in such a simple way for 2-year-olds, and yet I still read it.
With most of the lines, beep, beep, I'm a robot, beep,
beep. They were basically, yeah. Beep, beep, Autobot, beep, beep, etc. Beep, beep. Still written better than the movie, though.
Wouldn't be hard.
That third one's out on DVD soon, and I'm going to have to buy it because I never did go to the cinema to see it in 3D. Oh yeah, that's a weird thing to know. Arkham City is a 3D compatible 360 game.
Right.
I wasn't actually aware that such a thing existed.
Gears of War is as well.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, so you can... Oh, on the subject of Gears of War, CR showed me something great, an Easter egg that only got discovered the other day there. Has he shown you?
Nope.
There is a beard Easter egg.
For everyone?
For everybody,
so
including Anya.
I'm just thinking Anya running around with a beard.
People recorded themselves getting to the first cutscene with Anya, and she has a Dom beard. And the way you get it is hugging Dom during the prologue dream sequence. You just stay next to him the whole time, and then every character has a beard. A Dom beard. Like I said,
Brilliant.
I couldn't believe no one had actually found that by accident prior to now, because it's taken quite a while.
How would you accidentally...
Well, because I mean, you're both in cover together at the start in that dream sequence.
Yeah, but to hug him, you'd have to be standing right next to him.
Yeah.
Do you know what it'll be? It'll be somebody that was pretending, like, look at me, I'm humping him. Probably, like, winding somebody up all the way through, and eventually, bam, they've got a beard.
The kind of player Cliffy B loves.
That's like how STIs spread.
Or digital versions of STIs.
Humping Dom.
Ugh. Quickly moving on.
On a completely unrelated side note then.
Yes.
we've been talking on and off.
Oh, hang on. I just noticed in my notes that I had that Noodles did ask a question on a video, but I can't remember what it was. Can I quickly have a look? Because I know which video it was.
Yep, you can. I'll just fill in this with a little bit of music.
Okay, guys, here it is. He asked on the upload of the last podcast we did, if we had all money like Valve, what would we do with it and why?
I would pay for more people to send in questions.
You're that desperate to fill space with questions. That's a good one. If I had all money, it depends. Like, would I be able to pay to have my own personal military? Or my own country?
Probably.
I would have Cliffy B murdered. I would blow up the headquarters of Activision and EA. I would have Kotaku removed from the internet.
What about OG?
I would fund an animation studio so that every episode of an anime looked as good as the better ones. I would pay scientists to make printies real.
Okay.
And I would invent teleportation. I would pay to have teleportation invented.
You just pay for it, right? I've given you money, now make it so.
Well, people seem to think we'll cure cancer by throwing money at it, so I want to invent teleportation using the same method.
That's a valid point.
Yeah, it really annoys me when people ask for money for that. If we all went as a species that we want to cure the worst disease that kills us, we should all do it for nothing. Sorry, getting off on a very annoyed. I just get really annoyed when people say we need money to cure cancer. Like, fuck off. Do the research to save us.
So, moving on from that to other people that are looking for money. It looks like Nintendo are doing really, really badly this year.
Oh, I had this topic as well. Have you actually got how much they lost?
I don't know.
It is a very big number. Do you want to guess? It is in yen, though, so keep in mind that yen is...
Yen's like crazy, so it's probably like a trillion yen or something mental.
Not quite that. It's not quite a trillion. It's 70 billion.
70 billion yen.
70 billion yen. They, yeah, like people were saying, they used to print money, now they're just bleeding it.
It's all those trick-or-treaters. That's what it is. They keep turning up and just handing out money. Here you go. Here.
Popping around Mario's house, and he can't help it. He's a nice plumber. He just has to give them candy.
Yeah,
oh, no, he give them candy. Here's a billion yen. Here's another billion yen.
Except for if it was Luigi. Now, if you went to Luigi's house, you'd get sucked up into a vacuum. What I did there. You see what I did there?
I wondered where you were going, and thankfully it wasn't anywhere sinister.
Nope.
Good.
So, yeah, I was thinking, well, are they going the same direction that Sega did?
No, you weren't. Someone posted that question and you're copying it.
No, but, well, I've got a sort of segue that I am thinking of from this.
Well, I think they're in a hell of a lot of trouble, that it is their own fault, and they deserve it for what they've done to gaming over the last few years. But I would rather not see them go belly up and go to software only, because then it would just be 10 Mario games a year.
Well, see, this is what I was thinking, that are we going to see more people going down the same route? More people trying something risky like the Wii nonsense and 3DS nonsense and have it backfire, and then that's them out?
Well, what else is there to do, though? Because Sony and Microsoft both kind of have, and both have relatively failed. I think Move is the best of the three, because it does everything a Wii can, but has the graphics of the PS3. Whereas Kinect is crap. And the Wii has terrible graphics. So, and you need to buy an extra peripheral if you want to use it properly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I got offered a Wii game, but you had Skyward Sword, actually. But you need Wii Motion Plus.
I've got that.
You need inverted comment.
In case anybody's looking to still, shift that one along...
Stop trying to leech review copies from me. What a nicer person would have done was said, I will lend you my Wii Motion Plus so you could play it.
Oh yeah, I could do that as well, actually, yeah.
I haven't actually played it. I never played Twilight Princess.
Neither did I.
Before. I mean, I played the Ocarina of Time on 3DS, obviously, because I'm one of the few people who bought one, apparently.
Chumps, that's the word.
Chumps. And that awful extra analog thing they brought out for the 3DS, see if they start bringing out games that require it, I will wish death upon them.
So this is what I was thinking, that like if things continue the way they are we going to see less consoles? Are people going to be bringing out, Nintendo going to say, right, we're not going to bring consoles out, we'll just do software? What's to say that Apple don't make a second attempt at bringing out a console, and perhaps Sony then give up, or I don't know. What happens? Maybe see more consoles, like maybe devs start finding new backing, and you'll start getting, an Activision console and stuff.
Oh God, I hope not.
It'll take pictures of you while you're sleeping and upload them to the internet.
No, I think Nintendo is in a lot more trouble than Sony or Microsoft, because they can kind of afford to fail, whereas Nintendo invested a lot in the 3DS. And
I don't mean like right now. I just mean like
in general,
in future. I mean, if you went back to the early 90s, there's no way you would have thought that Sega was going to go down and out like it did.
Yeah, and they did kind of go down and out because their console failed. The Dreamcast didn't do well, so that.
I still don't know why.
I know, I liked the Dreamcast. I didn't have any problem with it at all.
I didn't have one. Good. I didn't buy one, but I still liked it.
Well, maybe that's part of the problem why they went belly up.
Yeah, but I didn't have any money to buy any consoles, though. I didn't buy any at that point. I was poor.
They seem to be doing kind of... Well, actually, no, I was going to say Sega are doing okay, but they're being infected by Nintendo, so they're just rehashing old shit.
So speaking of rehashing old shit, right? I've got two final points that I have on my sort of list of...
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One is that Doom 4 has been indefinitely postponed, and they're saying it's because Rage's sales were pretty poor.
You didn't like our game, so we're holding back on the one that you might like.
That's what I don't get. Then I wouldn't say it's rehashed old shit, but there's only so far you can really go with the first-person genre, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, lately, the new thing we've had is that RPG element that's been thrown into it. That's been for a few years now, but I would still probably have got Doom 4, because I do like the franchise. I like the setting, let's say. But to hold back because people went, actually, this Rage thing, we're not really that interested. But I think...
It is weird, though, because it is a disinterest, because it scored well. No one scored it badly.
Do you know what I reckon is the problem? Is that the way that Rage has been sold to people, they haven't really given it like a hook. They haven't really shown like why you should get it over something else.
That's fair.
I haven't seen anything that just doesn't shout generic FPS.
No, that's pretty much because it is. They should have spent more time like showing off all the weird gadgets you have in it.
Exactly. If they said like these weapons are fucking mental and crazy,
the same kind of angle that makes the Resistance games sell, because it's definitely not the gameplay.
Yeah, I've not played them, so
I've only played the first one. But yeah, they're well known because it's the same folk who do the Ratchet and Clank games, so all their weapons are very innovative and weird.
Ah, right.
So that's their hook, and it works. It's quite a good hook to have like very weird acting weapons.
So jumping on from that, the sort of failure of Rage.
It's just one segue after the other with you, isn't it?
It is. I just bash. Final Fantasy XIV is having a Final Fantasy XIV version 2 that is coming out.
In November next year?
It's supposed to be November next year. So they've basically they've openly admitted that the game that was shipped and released wasn't fit for consumption.
The new people in charge of it have admitted that the old folk who were in charge of it really messed up. And they did. I was in the beta and everyone got totally ignored.
And so we've already covered that before, but they've totally laid it out on the table, everything clear, this is what we plan to change, this is like, when we want these to be implemented, and blah, 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 blah. And I think they really want to make it work.
It does sound like they're genuinely giving it a good go, yeah.
And the amount of money that must have been sunk into it. I mean, I know that, Square Enix have got a fair bit of cash anyway, But
no, they had massive losses last year. Remember?
Yeah, and this is probably one of the reasons why. But I think if it was down to literally just about making money, they would probably have just scrapped it and just gone, right, okay, we're just going to have to just leave this here.
Try again.
And start something new. But instead, it's almost like they're trying to rebuild it, which is really... It's interesting. The one thing that I really don't agree with the whole thing is that they've, up until now, they've just said, right, there's no subscription fee because you're essentially still beta testing this.
It's been free since the earthquakes, basically.
Yeah. So, from what I gather, they're reintroducing the subscription fee from this November.
Yeah, this November, even though the game...
they're saying that the game isn't fully... The way that they're terming like it being fully finished and all done is when the PS3 release is done.
Yes, possibly.
So that you're saying that essentially you're paying your subscription for something that's not finished yet.
That is very true, yeah.
But I suppose you could liken that to paying for Minecraft when it was technically still, in the beta.
Mm-hmm. Now, when I showed you, they mostly just did concept art of this so-called version 2, but they did have one screenshot. And when you saw that screenshot, you did say that it looked a hell of a lot more what you would expect an MMO to be like.
Yes, when I looked at that, I said that I would pay for that. I would buy that and play that.
Yeah, they made it look good. It did look good.
Yes.
Kind of. So hopefully... this time next year.
It's disappointing because I know I've fallen away with MMOs lately because of work and playing other things, and you don't really have an awful lot of time as you get older for.
Yeah, exactly. Which is why I said in the previous podcast, free to play MMOs are more appealing now than subscription ones to me.
But there was something about Final Fantasy XI that I think
it did have an addictive quality. I played it for 7 years. So there was something addictive in it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and I was hoping that would have been recaptured in 14, and it was.
And it was not. No, 14 as it stood or stands now is absolutely bloody awful.
So I've got my fingers crossed for them. I'm not really all that interested in how Nintendo fare, and to be quite honest, I suppose I'm a little bit disappointed that Doom 4 is not coming out, but they'll probably release it anyway.
Hopefully it will come out sometime when it's a bit quieter.
Yeah.
Maybe this time next year it won't be 5 or 6 games out that we're having to choose from.
You'll jinx it, you'll curse it.
I know. Well, like I say, it's just going to be September, November. December is a quiet month. I don't know anything that's out in December that I'm interested in.
Santa Claus?
No, I hate Christmas.
Is there any holiday that you do like?
Does my birthday count as a holiday?
To you, I suppose. Is it a public holiday? No.
No, but it should be. It should be. It should be. If I had all money, it would be.
That's what you would do if you had all money.
My birthday would become a national holiday. Except everybody would have to work except me.
Isn't that how it already is? It's a holiday where everybody else except for you works.
Yes, good. Now, if that's you completely done all your segues and removed everything from your list, let's see, I've got a couple of miscellaneous bits of news and then one little side story. So which would you like first?
Side story.
The side story is very simple. I should have kept this actually for the crap we speak at the start. It was when I was at work and someone who was in looking around, I suddenly heard the Metal Gear Solid alert noise. It's like one of those noises everybody recognizes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I heard it, my first thought wasn't, oh, that person obviously is into his Metal Gear Solid. My first thought, and I swear this is true, was, oh crap, I've been seen.
Thinking, where's a cardboard box when I need it?
And it's just that split second because I wasn't fully paying attention. It was just, didn't it? I was like, oh crap.
There's some really good instances where reality and I suppose gaming, over films or anything, when they clash. I think it's the interactive nature of gaming, but some things that have happened to me. I mean, I've told you in the past about with Doom 3, where there's a bit where you go into a toilet, and because it's you're always on edge throughout the game because it forces you to be that way because of the cheap scares and stuff, and my trigger finger is kind of itchy at the best of times. When I went to start, I saw something flash to the side of me, and I instantly opened fire, and it was the mirror, and I got caught out by that. And I just thought that, the number of things where that happens to me is starting to increase, I think.
You're getting too addicted. Is that what you...
Yeah, I think so. The lines are blurring.
Clearly lines are blurring for me as well, although I was caught off guard. I'm not usually that weird. Well, no, not that weird. Anyway, Minecraft has been delayed on Xbox, which is very strange considering there's already a Minecraft clone on it that seems to be doing fine.
Is there a reason?
Yeah, they kind of, the way it was worded and the truth behind the way they worded it suggested to me that they're optimizing it because it's Kinect interactive. For the 10 people who have Kinect, and hopefully maybe like 3 of them will be Minecraft players.
It's just,
can you imagine?
It's going to bomb. You know it's going to bomb, don't you? It's not going to
bomb as a game, but no one will use Kinect with it.
No.
So imagine pushing, like hitting your hand every time you want to dig something in Minecraft.
Knackered. You would be knackered.
Exactly. And connected to that, Notch has won the first court case against Bethesda.
Ah.
Well, I say him, his company, Mojang.
Yeah.
They won what's called an interim injunction, so they can keep on using scrolls, and Bethesda can't do anything about it in their country. Finland, isn't it? Or Iceland? Finland.
Sweden, I think, isn't it?
Sweden. In foreign.
In foreign.
You can now keep on using scrolls. They can appeal, but obviously they don't have a leg to stand on, so it's not going to get any further than that, which I'm glad. I'm glad. Because, if they did actually win and he had to change it to something else, you would just see indie games cropping up everywhere called Scrolls, or Scrolls with a Z.
Yes,
3 and a 2 and an L. Because gamers react like that, and so they should.
We haven't played Minecraft in a while.
That's because they're still Notch, damn it.
It's because they're spending too much time fanning about with Kinect versions and stuff.
Oh no, it's a separate company doing Minecraft he's handed it over to them.
Yeah.
Different company doing it.
Although,
he's too busy fighting court cases, I think.
There is a new update coming out that includes Ender Dragons and stuff like that.
Yeah, if only the Endermen currently still worked. Or if they functioned like that Weeping Angels mod I showed you, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
I'd actually made Weeping Angels from Doctor Who that we spoke about a few podcasts ago now in Minecraft, and they work perfectly. They work so much better than the Endermen do. And really, he should find the coding used for them and use it.
Steal it.
He does it with everything. So why not? The last thing I have on my list is a very random thing, not even really worth mentioning, but the Japanese version of Disgaea 4 has been having tons of DLC, as I think I mentioned before. The American version is going to start getting DLC starting November. Which is also when Arkham City starts getting DLC as well, other characters to play as.
Ah.
Yeah, the first one is going to be Nightwing, for people who know who that is. It's the original Robin.
That's the Tumbleweed again.
Yeah, I never really got into the Batman stuff ever because he isn't a real superhero, but I find myself getting into it now.
That's why I've had this argument before, and I think that's why he's better. Because he doesn't have any powers. That's the point. He's just a normal dude. He's got a lot of money, but he's just a normal dude. He doesn't have he can't run faster than a train or a speeding bullet and, have laser eyes or shoot webs out of his arse and all that sort of stuff. He's just a normal guy with some gadgets. That's it.
Actually, one of the plus
points... That means that stuff that he does is more impressive because he doesn't have any powers.
I suppose so. Well, one of the things in Arkham Asylum was by the end of it, he looked a wreck. He was just totally wrecked. And in Arkham City, he ends up even worse by the end of it.
Exactly. Because he's... Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of weird superheroes and stuff, well, technically not a superhero. They're making a Phoenix Wright movie. Oh yeah, there's already been a Phoenix Wright musical. Yeah, this is a proper The musical was an all-female cast, by the way. I remember seeing a bit of it. Very weird. Those Japanese and their weirdness. Yes, I think we covered that before. これは何ですか? I don't know. So you wanted to say anything more about the movie? No, nothing. It just feels weird. Like of all the games to pick,
you're underestimating the popularity of them.
I mean, I've played one of them. I don't know which. I downloaded it on my phone.
That'll be the first one then.
And it was all right. It was just.
It isn't just good, like proper. Like it did lie spotting and contradiction spotting better than L.A. Noire, but it also does have like interesting characters. So I bought them all. I've played them all. They're very good. I highly recommend them to anyone who has a DS.
Or if you want to download it on the iPhone.
Oh yeah, and the first one is on the iPhone. It's probably on Android store as well.
I'll be able to tell you that after I've had a mooch.
Oh yes, yep.
So Grand Theft Auto 5's been sort of officially announced then.
The announcement of a trailer has been announced for a trailer.
It's far too excessive, isn't it? You should just go, right, like, this is when the game's going to come out, or you should just release a trailer. You should just say, right, we're going to release a trailer. This is an announcement to... Actually, do you know what? Capcom did that for Resident Evil 6 or whatever, didn't they?
A lot of people, yeah, they did an announcement trailer for a trailer of an announcement. Mm-hmm.
It's like, what... It's a bit of a head fuck.
So the trailer is coming on 2nd of November, so what, 5 days from now? 4 days? I don't know what date it is today. Either way. And the email the Rockstar sent out to folk who subscribe to the Rockstar propaganda has the logo, and it's a big V, obviously, a green one with knitted kind of money type patterns on it, and then the 5 and a banner over it. So people have been like trying to dissect, what does that mean? Where's it going to be set?
People put far too much effort into these
I know.
things.
I mean, who cares? I'm looking forward to the next Saints Row far more than I am about another Grand Theft Auto. Not just because it's out sooner, because I know it will be more fun.
Yeah.
I saw somebody like satiring Grand Theft Auto 5 saying, if you pre-order from here, it'll be set in San Andreas. If you pre-order from here, it'll be set in New York. And that is the kind of stuff that's happening today.
I hope they don't fall into that sort of trap.
Would you like to place a bet, though? Where do you think it'll be set? Or people have also been like wondering whether it'll be a female you play as for once.
Well, I would gather that it will still be set in the States somewhere.
I would assume I would assume North America.
I'm going to guess that it's going to go with multiple cities. Maybe not so big, but multiple places, like San Andreas, where you went between locations.
San Andreas is still considered by many to be the best one.
Vice City is the best.
Well,
Vice City is by far the best.
You just have a like of that era.
It was the attitude in the game was better.
But they basically just ripped off gangster movies of that time.
The characters were better. The missions were better. It was weird because it was the 80s and everybody was weird in the 80s.
No, wasn't it earlier than the 80s? Wasn't it?
No, it was the 80s.
Oh.
It was supposed to be set in 86 or something.
Oh, I see.
I think.
Well, I think I agree. I think multiple cities, but smaller in size overall is probably a best bet. It won't be like the cold type of city that Grand Theft Auto 4 was in. It'll be somewhere more exotic, maybe like a Las Vegas type, I would say.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think there's much chance of playing as a woman. I really don't.
No, I don't think they'll do that. But I reckon that they will probably make a proper effort at putting like co-op in.
I was just about to say that because they will have now looked at, hang on a minute, why did people like Saints Row 2 so much?
I mean, think about this, right? When you played the last GTA, virtually every mission has you like buddying up with somebody for something.
Yeah.
So they just have you playing as like all the co-op people, or maybe they just add in the fact that you could have your brother or something that comes along for fun.
Yeah. So there's some predictions, and then in 2 weeks' time we can edit this.
Yeah. We were relying on
in a week's time. I'd be interested to see if we're right or wrong about that. Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for more news.
So I think we should probably start wrapping up. I think. Have we been talking for a while? It feels like a while.
We have been talking for a while.
That's probably not a good sign for how interesting this has been. We're still talking.
I've locked the doors and pulled the curtains over the windows in anticipation that while it's not actually Halloween, because it's the weekend.
It's the Halloween weekend. Yes, we must. That's not a bad idea, actually, hiding from the geysers. How dare you want free candy?
I'm going to go and stand outside and punch anybody that comes to the door. You have been warned.
Has Vicky used this as an excuse to dress up your cats?
No, she doesn't dress up the cats.
Because if my sister had access to my dog, I know that's what would happen.
If your sister had access to your dog.
Yeah.
The way that you reference that is horrible.
Well, how else was I supposed to say we don't live in the same house, so she doesn't have direct access?
It's like she has to pay child maintenance or something.
Well, actually, that's something we can link on the blog as well. She uploaded a video of my dog jumping up at my window. Because my dog jumps very high at the window if anyone comes to the door.
She's stupid.
She's part kangaroo. Her father was a kangaroo.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, probably better you don't. So, would you like to start hearing things?
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch, best thing to do would be to email us at braingohurty@gmail.com. That includes any Dragon Ball Z Tenkiachi requests.
As if any of the 13-year-olds want infidels to that listen to this. But we live in hope.
I suppose so. You can also get both of us on YouTube at FlickFFXI.
Someone asked me earlier today, how do you pronounce FlickFFXI? And I just had to kind of say, just say Flick, because the other part I wish wasn't there. Because you can't pronounce it. The way that is written is not pronounceable.
No, it's not. Because it doesn't have the vowels and stuff in the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah, or my channel, which is Blighty Warrior, which doesn't really have anything new up, but maybe after tonight we'll have some Halloween Team Fortress up there.
And you did Battlefield 3.
I did love Battlefield 3, yeah. And you can also visit the blog at braingohurty.blogspot.com.
Or not.
Or not, yeah. We don't care. Go fuck yourself.
Do not end this there with you telling people to go fuck themselves.
Why not?
Because it's not nice.
Yeah, okay, don't go fuck yourself.
Yeah, go fuck someone else. They might.
Oh, I'm dying.
Halloween.
Let's all put on our masks.